Hi, I'm Philip. I'm a program manager for Umbraco CMS. We're a CMS that specializes in all things data and making a great user experience. We're the most popular open source CMS on the .NET stack. We have more than 500,000 active installs, and we have about 500 contributors already on GitHub. Since we moved the project to GitHub a couple of years ago, we have more than 6,000 PRs already. So we're a professionally managed open source project. So we have our own company behind, but the main project is open source and free for all to use and to contribute to. We're welcoming tons of contributions in very many different areas. We're migrating the product to .NET Core as we speak, and we're looking for contributions in that. We have issues on GitHub marked as up for grabs and good first issues. For the stability of the migration to be successful, we're also investing heavily in tests. So we're migrating all our tests also, and also adding more and more Cypress acceptance tests. So we are really looking for help on that as well. If you're not a developer, maybe you can help us writing documentation. There's a separate repository for that on GitHub. And if you just want to try out the product and give us your feedback, that's very valuable as well. What doesn't feel intuitive to you? What would you think were different? And what would you like us to be? Also this year, for something new, we are doing our own Hacktoberfest along with Hacktoberfest. So if you contribute to the Umbraco project, to our docs, or to any of our community packages, we will actually get a little extra prize from us. If you're a developer, our back office is written in .NET, so it's the Microsoft stack. So that's the toolkit you'll need for that. The front end is a single page application, so you'll need to write JavaScript enabled or in order to contribute to that. And if not, as I said, we really want contributions for our docs or feedback on the product in general. We've set a little starter up on our website. So if you go to umbra.co/hacktober, there's a whole getting started guide, or if you prefer, you can just go directly to our repository on GitHub. Thanks so much for contributing to Umbraco. We look forward to receiving your PRs.
Hi, I'm Archer. I'm the maintainer of the Cert Manager project. Cert Manager is an X509 certificate management solution for Kubernetes, but that's a mouthful of words. So what Cert Manager does is it automates your certificate lifecycle inside Kubernetes, just like Kubernetes would manage anything else from deployments. Cert Manager will do the same for your certificates inside Kubernetes. What Cert Manager then allows you to do is use these certificates to secure your application, for example, your ingress, but even your internal applications inside Kubernetes can be secured using Cert Manager. To do this, Cert Manager plugs into enterprise solutions such as Vault and Verify. However, Cert Manager can also manage its own certificates, and it can even get certificates from an ACME CA issuer, just like Let's Encrypt. We are welcoming all kinds of contributions to the project. This goes from helping out users in our Slack to improving our documentation and our general websites. In the code base, there is also a lot of things to do. This goes from fixing small bugs in this or to implementing feature requests. This can be quite specific to a specific cloud provider you're familiar with or to the general Kubernetes controller. Experience with Kubernetes, I think, is a must-have. Knowing Go is also a nice-to-have. However, I see many people who just jump into the project and start learning Go while contributing. You can go to our GitHub repository and look for good first issues. We try to mark the best ones that we think are best to get started there. Also, if you have any questions, we are available every day in the Kubernetes Slack in Cert Manager Dev for any development-related questions. Also, feel free to jump into our community meeting, which is every 2 weeks, where we talk about the latest updates and have a discussion about things on the end. And you can even jump into our daily stand-up, which is also public.
Hi, my name is Tom Kerkhoff and I'm of Prometer. Prometer is basically an open source project which allows you to get metrics Azure Monitor and also say I support StatsD, Atlassian and Prometheus. We use the same metrics, but basically where you need them. How it works behind the scenes is we have two agents. We have one keeps the metrics from Azure Monitor itself. You can use a declarative approach as of version 2.0, which is now in preview. You can also use dynamic resource discovery on top of Azure Resource Graph, which basically allows you to dynamically get all the metrics in your applications, and we will bring them where you need them. So Prometer works with a very flexible way where we have the concept of scrapers, and you can basically very easily add a new scraper for a certain Azure service. So today we have more than 25 scrapers, but there's a whole backlog of more scrapers to add, such as Azure Application Gateway and others, and it should be fairly easy to add those. I'm also open for contributions for new metric syncs. But to save you time, it's best to discuss them first so that we don't reinvent the wheel because maybe they already do it out of the box. So I'm welcome for new scrapers and new metric syncs. Contributing is very simple. All you need is .NET skills, an Azure subscription to create the resources on and test against, and markdown skills to write the documentation. I also provide a small guide which walks you through the process of adding a new scraper, or you can also use GitHub code spaces or Visual Studio Code, which will give you a code tour of what that looks like. Getting started is very easy. You can go to prometer.io to read the documentation. You can also find a link to GitHub there. And I provide a contribution guide which walks you through how the repo is set up and how to run it locally. And you will also find a link to how you can add a new scraper to Prometer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to open an issue, a discussion, or tweet to me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well,
There we
hello.
are again. Yes. Oh, that was a good break, I think. Yes.
Yes, we had been going for a while.
Yeah, I could certainly use some fuel because now the real work starts, right?
Yes, now
So
indeed, we have the real work.
yes, we have discovered and learned more about some projects. There's a lot more videos as well. We will put them on as well, of course. But yeah, what project to choose? Whew.
Yes.
But that's up to you.
Yes, it's
That's
up to you. Yes, just and if you have any questions, join the conversation in each of the different channels on Discord to get in touch with the maintainers or just other people that are joining that specific project to contribute, be part of the community. And yeah, by the way, I posted something nice on our Discord in our general channel.
Yeah, that looks very nice. It's a very nice pillow.
So how could people get that one again?
Well, that's a good question. I'm happy you ask.
Yeah.
So we have given a few letters during the live stream. Now, your task is to put together those letters to form a word.
Yes.
And we had the letters S.
Yes.
U. I think I have seen a D as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
And the fourth one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. It was O. Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, even if you know, of course, those 4 letters, then it might be like very challenging to put those together. Maybe you have never heard about Linux before. I can't imagine, but maybe you haven't. Then it's quite difficult then. Yes.
Yes. So are you hinting to something right now?
Well, I'm hinting towards that pillow. Because I am not going to give you the pillow. And Nick is not going to give you that pillow. That's not now, we wanted to make it challenging. But of course, you can always, if we say no, you can of course always elevate your rights. No?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is horrible. Okay. Well, sorry for that. But we will put a link in the chat so that you, if you are, of course, able to form that 4-letter word with the letters we have given you, they might be hustled. They might not be hustled. Who knows? So put that in as well. I think Nick will put the link in the chat.
Oh, well, put the link to get it, to submit. Yes. Basically. Yeah, I will put that in the chat. Should I put it right there now? Or shall we wait a bit until people are sleepy enough and they've done some meaningful contributions?
Yes, so they can first contribute and then get the link. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yes, and maybe they are so much taken by the whole coding thing that they forget about it.
Yeah.
So we will remind you a few times of this, right?
Yes, we will.
We will.
We'll definitely be back. We'll be back.
Because we want you to have a comfortable pillow, and we want you to contribute to open source.
Yes.
So it was quite a day, right, Nick?
Definitely. We've gone through some some challenges. So,
Oh yeah, personally, yes.
yeah. So I think for now, I think we can leave people to choose a project and contribute. And while they're at it, I'd love to see in our chat as well how people are, what projects they are contributing to, what their experiences are, because definitely that's something that we want to learn as well. Is what is your favorite project? What are you contributing? Are you contributing source code? Are you fixing bugs or putting in new features? So somebody suggesting already a feature in one of the channels. Or is it, as we discussed, maybe you're more into adding contributions for tutorials or documentation. Or maybe you could write a contributing.md file, which might be interesting as well. So yeah, let us know what you're working on.
Yeah, and there are quite some projects still without a contributing file, right? So
yes, because that really explains to people joining your project on how they can contribute. So it's a very useful file to have on your project. I think next to some of the other typical files like your license file. It is key that you point people to what is basically the process of contributing to your project. What should people do if they have a new feature? Is there a specific issue, a custom issue that you have provided, and that people can use to suggest a new feature? What about bugs? Should they? Do you have any specific types of custom issues? Is it just a standard issue that you have? So all of these things you basically describe in your contributing.md file. And so, yeah, let us know. There's so many things that you can do that you can contribute to. So keep us posted on that. We want to see it. We want to hear about your experiences.
Yeah, of course. And if you run into any problems, just reach out, albeit, on how to use Git or GitHub or, how do I, what you wanted to say something.
No, not really. Go ahead.
Oh, you were like, duh.
No, I actually was checking on the different channels and what was happening there. And actually, I saw something happening there in the Argus Notary channel, where somebody was suggesting about. I'm not familiar myself with Argus Notary, but how about adding Keycloak as an OAuth 2 provider? And so basically, Michel Durieux kind of immediately responded to that one. So it's great to see that immediate response and interaction with the maintainers here on Discord. So let's keep it up.
Yeah, and they're from this is a specific project with extremely enthusiastic and open people who are like, this is quite a new project. It was open sourced recently. And they are really looking for all kinds of ways to improve their software, but also, well, the website, the documentation. We will run an interview with Michel in the live stream as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. And actually, I think it has come up a bit in some of our previous sessions, is because I was looking specifically myself and looking into, as I'm using VS Code a lot, I was kind of exploring, looking around the VS Code GitHub repo. And so I was wondering, like, where should I start? What's kind of, for this huge project or that's been going on for quite a while, is there still something for me as a new contributor to VS Code? And actually in their issues, they have a lot of issues which have been tagged with good for beginners. tag. So that's definitely something that you can do, is look for specific tags in a repo which refer to issues that are open and quite easy for beginners to get started with, without you having to know a lot of information already. So I think that's a very good starting point. And so specifically with VS Code, there were a lot. Yeah, good first issue is definitely good tag to look for in some of those repos.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, because it can be quite overwhelming to look at some projects. You know, also the smaller ones, they're not well. If you look at the documentation and just browse a little bit through their code, then well, it can be quite difficult to identify. Hey, but I see something. Is this something I could touch on? You know, just look for those labels. Good first issue. Good for beginners. You know, so this is a way to get started. And if you get started with contributing to open source, or even if you are a long-time contributor, we have just launched a few hours ago a recognition, a new recognition specifically for open sorcerers to our Azure Heroes program. Now, okay, Azure Heroes program is a Microsoft program, but anybody, of course, can join because it's about community. It's about rewards for people from the community, be it diverse, an organizer with an eye for diversity, or you might be a good mentor.
Yeah.
Maybe there's people watching who think, hey, maybe I could mentor somebody who is new to open source or new to my project. And so there are lots of other badges you can earn. You can find that on aka.ms/azure.heroes. And you might be wondering, what is she talking about? That badger? Ah, well, let's run a little commercial.
Take it away.
Yes, so boom, in your face, there it is, the open sorcerer badger. Yes, no shirts, no fancy shirts. Of course, we love shirts, but
Yes.
it's not the way to get recognized for your contributions, and this is just a way we think is great to show that appreciation. And you can nominate yourself, but you can also nominate others, and please do so.
Yes, we see a lot of people from the community actually nominating others because they see other people as being their mentor, because somebody else has actually taught them something that they're now using, or they see other great things happening in the community, and so indeed they nominate colleagues or friends or you name it. It's up to you to basically to tell us who you think should merit such an Azure Badger, and just tell us why, and they can have their collection of Azure Heroes in their wallet. And actually, something else we announced, I think also earlier this week, is that you can now actually have a community map where you can see for each country which people actually have which badgers. Again, it's up to you to decide if you want to disclose that information. You don't have to, but it's always nice to see. And I think we had a tweet earlier this week where somebody was announcing like, hey, I'm the first Azure Hero on the map for New Zealand. So maybe you can have your still you have your stake and kind of put you on the map amongst all the other Azure heroes. So yes, go and check it out and nominate people or nominate yourself.
Yeah, and it's just so much fun to watch those faces pop up on the map. Let me pull it up. I think I might be able to do so. Well, I am able to do so. I'm not sure if my laptop is able to do so. Let's find out. Oh dear, this is. Yes. So let's see what we can find out, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, while we were talking about contributions and also making sure that you have valuable and useful contributions, you can also help a lot the maintainers and core contributors of a project by maybe just triaging issues and pull requests that come in. Just the fact of labeling a specific issue and marking it as, yes, this is a bug, or just following up on a specific issue and asking, for example, is there code to reproduce this error, is very, very useful. A lot of work in open source maintenance of projects goes into this, well, somewhat administrative work that needs to happen to be able to kind of work through your roadmap and see what are genuine issues and how do we need to tackle them. Just that labeling process, that triaging, is a very important task within the maintenance of an open source project. And so yes, here we can see the heat map of our Azure heroes. And so it's
yes, there it is. And this is fun. Like especially if there's an event going on. Yeah, people adding themselves. Yeah, it's fun to see those faces pop up on the map.
Yes, indeed.
But you can also earn them, for instance, during attending a hackathon or something, or a workshop.
Yes.
So there's really a lot of ways to gather them. Well, we briefly touched upon this. Like there's also the green badger, which is extremely cute, by the way.
Yes.
So well done to the design team. Yeah. And it's just to recognize your efforts which you are doing on making the world more sustainable, more green.
Yes.
So yeah, it's amazing, and also of course for open source contributions.
Yeah,
you can claim them. You can add them to your LinkedIn. Sometimes we do create also stuff like T-shirts. If they ever get delivered here, but who knows? Yes, so that's the good thing as well. Now, if you are watching this live stream and you are watching this on Twitch or maybe on YouTube, please join us. We're at contributing.today. That's contributing.today. We are very friendly people. We have an open Discord channel which you can join. And on our Discord server, there is all kinds of channels for different projects. People are watching this, so please do reach out. Say, hey, I'm kind of interested in your project. Just have a chat.
Yeah.
Just have a chat. It's easy as that.
Indeed. Yeah, it's. I think that's the whole point with Hacktoberfest is how can we make it easy? How can we help the community in becoming contributors to open source? This should not be. It should not be hard. We have a large group of very welcoming maintainers and open source contributors already, and I think just the fact of in us organizing this and getting all of these short videos and interviews up, it was amazing how easy it was, and how open the people were to kind of share and help others and participate in this event, to basically share with the community, and it's so great to see. Yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, Suzanne, a small anecdote, and you were involved in that one as well, because you mentioned the nice design work that is happening around Azure Heroes. You remember that little thing we did around HashiConf?
The little thing around HashiConf.
Yes.
Oh, that was so much fun, and yeah.
Yeah, we had the Space Badger at that time, and actually we were kind of brainstorming with the design team and what should this, and so actually kind of to introduce to the people, what did we actually do? We created a couple of coding challenges, so we had like 4 or 5 coding challenges that we ran online with the attendees of HashiConf, and we kind of came up with this crazy idea of building a space adventure all around this little badger. And it was you, I think, Suzanne, who came up with the actual name of the company of the little badger.
Yeah, I think so. I can't. Yes, yes, I do recall that. Yeah, that's the problem with this stuff, and having a great team. And with great team, I'm talking about our great Western European developer relations people and the Azure Heroes team. Yeah, it's so so much fun to be in a space where you can just go ahead and do whatever you think is fun. Some things work, some don't. And well, this is like a good example, right? So this is not in any way affiliated, of course, with Microsoft.
No.
But we tend to work there, yeah. But we do get a lot of space to invest in these kinds of things, and this is having the room to be creative and to invest time in things which help open source contributions, for instance. Yeah, that's so important, and to invest time and effort in letting people learn certain technologies or how they can apply them. Yeah. It's very rewarding, and I think. I think this is like marvelous. But yes, that badger thing with the space badgers, that kind of escalated. Yes.
Yes, that took off quite rapidly. Oh my God, it's
there you are. Okay, you think you can't get any more cheesy, but yet here we are. Good. So for people who are watching and thinking, what? Well, this is CONTRIBUTING.md. You can find us on the website CONTRIBUTING.today. Please join us in our chat. There's a code of conduct which is for this event on the top of the screen, like every event should have, to be honest. We're here because we love open source. We love technology, and more than everything, love anything to do with code. So this is why we're here. We will not only be here today. We will be here for the rest of the month with a meetup on Tuesdays at 5 Central European time. So please feel free to join. And after this event, the Discord channel is not closed. And I even think maybe after October, maybe we will just continue doing stuff now and then.
Yes.
Maybe.
So, yeah. Just
join us.
Yes.
Join us. Yes. Come over.
Join in the conversation about contributing. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Are we
or just have a discussion on on licensing, or big corporations can't. What? Yes, you can have a great discussion on licensing. Why are
Yes.
you laughing? Why, Ethan?
Well, actually, yeah, licensing. It's quite an interesting topic.
It is an interesting topic, and you know, Hacktoberfest is in itself an interesting topic, and it is. I think Hacktoberfest is a great initiative because, you know, the idea behind this is to let people know about open source projects, and giving people new to open source the chance to meet other people who are experienced and to learn from them. And I think that idea in itself is like really good, but it is you know, it has some negative impact at this moment, and this is quite disturbing, because this should not be about gathering your information. By the way, Azure Heroes, before somebody, of course, might wonder, we don't collect your data at all. We only see your face pop up on the screen. If you want to do this, if you want to say, go to our website and say, hey, I'm this person, and do that with your own blockchain thingy. I'm not sure. It works very easy, but I'm not sure how it works. But yeah, it did work, and it's you know, you don't have to supply your data in any way. Just wanted to add that, and I think that's the way some things should be, of course.
Yeah, I agree.
And for what we also don't collect your data is the swag, which you can win. Yes. It's a beautiful pillow. You can find it in the chat. You can find it in the. You can find it in the chat, and please complete the missing letters throughout this stream. And if you haven't watched the rest of the stream, then well, you know, it's just a matter of sudo make me a sandwich. Okay, now that's done.
Oh, by the way, we have a question from Jeroen in chat.
Oh, wait, let me see.
Yes, put on your chat glasses.
Yeah.
So Jeroen is asking if we are okay with sharing, because we were on the topic of sharing. Could you tell us a bit about our own background? I would say not your visual background.
Well, this is a real background. I get that question. It's not a fake one. So this is my background.
Yeah, and mine is like
good. Yours is like Channel 9. So
oh, yes. Indeed.
Well, I actually well, let me begin. Yeah, we're not that much. I think we don't really have that focus many times on who we are and what our background is. So we tend to skip it. I know Nick a little bit longer, and I do the same actually. So I started out developing well, just when I was a little kid, and I was intrigued by computers, and well, not specifically the computers, but the stuff you can do with it. And I was always wondering, hey, how does this work? Hey, why doesn't this exist, or why does this work in a certain way? And by figuring stuff out, I just started coding at some point, and I loved it. I loved the freedom to be able to change things, and that's actually how I started out, by well, reverse engineering stuff. And modifying it a little bit. And that's a great way to learn coding. For me, it really works because I can see what I can do with it, and then I start tweaking. And then I know, hey, this is interesting. This is something. So I kind of, well, long story short, ended up as a developer when I was 17-ish, 18. And I just started working at a software company at some point. Yeah, and so that's a little bit of my background. After that, I stopped because I was way too focused on getting things right or wrong. I don't know, but it is wrong to focus too much on that. So lesson learned. And eventually, I well, of course, got into touch with open source software, which was a new concept to me, and I really liked it because you could work with a lot of people and improve one thing, and it was great to be in a community. So yeah, this is how I came into touch with that, and after that I did way too many years of consultancy. But I'll always, somehow related to development, because I still find it massively interesting to see how you can actually do stuff and how you can apply technology to solve problems, to solve challenges, make the world better. The possibilities are endless, and this is. I recognize this time a little bit, and this is, granny tells, but this reminds me of the days when I started developing. The stuff is there. The only thing which is needed is your creativity, is your drive to make it better, your collaboration with other people. It's amazing times to be there. So if you're considering software development, you're watching this, do.
Wow. That's a dramatic
Yeah,
pause.
was that my background, Tino?
Yeah, Granny speaks. That was fun. Maybe I should go a little bit into my background. Actually, I started with development many moons ago. Must have been somewhere, and this is going to date me terribly, in 1985, actually, when I got my first computer, which was at the time TRS-80. It had, you started it up, it came with a command prompt, and you could start typing BASIC on the command line. So that's how I started. It was just doing some basic programs on this small little home computer together with my father at the time, who was kind of also interested in electronics and soldering and kind of the IoT at the time, which was, we had the devices part, but there was like no connectivity that still had to be invented. And I've always been like, as in the same way that you were interested in how do things work. I had this over school holidays, kind of the habit of just getting old machines, like an old photocopier, for example, and basically disassembling it completely to the last screw. So now I know how a photocopier works and how many screws are in there. A lot. And you find this giant roll of paper in there. So yeah, I've always been kind of interested in the inner workings of things. But so then, yeah, software development at the time, it was just copying programs. So you didn't have GitHub, like copy paste didn't even exist. And actually copy paste was just typing over some sample programs from a computer magazine. And you spent hours and hours and hours just typing everything over to see it work. And then, okay, it works. But yeah, and then basically I made it. It was my hobby, and it became what I learned. So I went for at university for a computer science degree because that was the only thing that interested me. And then I started in consulting, and lo and behold, I helped solving the or to some extent solving the Y2K problem in big banks. Oh, that was amazing times when we thought the world would topple over. And yeah, same as you. A lot of consulting, seeing yeah, the thing which I liked in consulting was that that still kind of interests is still something that I'm still interested in. Is you see a lot of different things. You meet a lot of different people. You see a lot of different perspectives on things, and that's very enriching. You learn a lot in a very short amount of time when you do consulting. So that got me to know everything apart from Microsoft technology. Then I had a whole period of only Microsoft technology. Then back into some Unix, and then some Linux and those kind of things. And then I ended up at Microsoft, almost by accident. Actually, not because of the technology as such, but actually because I had a consulting engagement, and I worked with these 2-3 people from Microsoft on that same project. And it was like, whoa, those are cool people. I want to work with those people. I want to be in that same kind of company. And it could have been Oracle, or it could have been any company, but it was just the people that I liked and that attracted me. And that's why I joined Microsoft at the time. And this is now, 14 years ago? Still there, still doing a lot of different things. And that's how I also then, while being at Microsoft, got involved in the developer communities. And yeah, I got to interact with you and see the community side of development. Whereas before it was always this enterprisey kind of world of you build something, either internal applications typically, but then that kind of shifted me to my focus in seeing, well, what is happening in the community, what are people working with, and it's a completely different perspective that you get on software development. And then indeed, if you then add the whole open source movement and things that are happening there, that really opens up your mind and makes you look at your profession of developer in a completely different way than if you would be just focused on your single application or your single set of programs that you develop within a company. So I suggest everyone to, no matter where you work, just go out in the community and meet people and talk to people and learn other things. Try out things and learn things from people that you're not comfortable with. Yes. Step out of your comfort zone, basically. And that's what I try to do as much as possible. Learning new things, exploring new things. Because that helps you not just learn new things in that new language or that new technology, but it helps you get new perspectives in the thing that you are already experienced in. By looking at, for example, Node, it will help you make better programs in Python or in .NET or in Java. You get completely new perspectives, new ways of solving problems that you get added to your skill set. And so, yes, open up your mind. I think that's a bit of my background. It's a lot of rambling, but that's where I come from.
Very nice.
And where I am.
We should do this more often, talk to each other. But,
yes.
Yes. But it's, but what you say is of course true. And it makes me realize, because I always took it for granted that I worked in consultancy and, hopped from here to there and also within customers, like try to get everything together and try and make an impact in that way. But it's, if you stay in your own bubble, then you miss a lot of things. And it's pretty much like traveling.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you, it really does bring you new perspectives. And you might even find the stuff which you need to unblock yourself, and not technically, but also as a person, because sharing views with each other is very important, and that is the same in technology. And I come from the Windows Linux days, and I was the Linux person. But yeah, times have changed, and I think for the better. It's about coming together and being a community, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and the thing that's also very much different from the earlier age, if we could say so. Again, the gray hairs speak for themselves. It's the accessibility of the accessibility of different technologies. It's so much easier now to start exploring all these different things. It has become so easy to do so many things. The world is really at your feet. You can just pick whatever you like and go and just explore, experiment as much as you like, which did not used to be like that. And so that in itself is, wow, what an evolution we've gone through in having technologies that are so available and are in abundance.
Yeah, but now the elephant's in the room.
Yes.
Because if you want to achieve more, then you also need to be inclusive.
Yes.
And you can't be inclusive by ignoring other people's perspectives, or by excluding people to give their opinion, or gaslighting.
Yeah.
And those, this is real, and it happens, and it's not only a community thing. It's of course also within companies, within teams within companies, and it happens all over the place. And that's one thing to really keep in mind, because although on technology we are starting to find each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do we include each other? How can we be inclusive more? And that's not only this discussion of very fast goes to yes, male, female, but it's also about are you a technical person or not? And so everybody's opinion should count, and listening to each other and creating a safe environment, I think, both in projects as within companies. I think that we should have an Inktober, inclusive Tober, Inkvember. I don't know, but this is something which is also so important to always think about. And earlier, we had a workshop on the code of conduct, and there was one question around, but with the code of conduct, I am upfront, I'm the bad person, I am guilty upfront, and are we too woke with each other? And I think that it's good to share perspectives on these things as well, because it's not about being bad or in advanced judging. It's about being open for discussing something which happened.
Yeah, totally agree. Indeed, it's we need indeed to make sure that we are inclusive, and indeed code of conducts are there really to indeed not to point out bad people as such, but they are there indeed, as you say, to at least make sure that whoever comes to that conference can do so in a safe way and feel secure that they are in a welcoming environment where they are being appreciated for the person they are. And that there are, in case, and I think you mentioned it in the workshop, bad things are going to happen. But you need to, at least you need to have the feeling that you can go somewhere if something happens to you, that at least there is a safe haven that you can go to, a person that you can talk to raise certain issues, and that those are being taken seriously. And the same goes here. We have, you mentioned it already before, we have our code of conduct up there. We have our personal contact details mentioned in that code of conduct. If there is anything at any point in time, let us know, reach out to us, part of the code of conduct team, and just let us know.
Yes, and also if you have questions about implementing a code of conduct, or just discussing a code of conduct, please reach out. If you are planning to organize something and you have questions, reach out. If we don't have the answer, we certainly know a lot of people who might have answers for you and who can help you. So
yes, definitely. While you were talking on the, it reminded me of an initiative, because you were thinking like the Inktember or in January or something. Actually, I think it's in January where there is Global Diversity CFP Day.
Oh, yes, yes, that's good to mention.
Not sure if it has been announced already. And I think it is Lian who participated in the Netherlands in a local chapter. I participated as a co-organizer and mentor in Belgium, together with other people in our team. Also Sherry, who is on the Discord. I think Maxime as well, who joined earlier. Not sure if he's still around. Organized local chapters of the Global Diversity CFP Day. And that's an amazing initiative that is also contributing to the community, helping people of underrepresented groups, help them get into conferences, help them into public speaking, help them write their or respond to a call for paper, call for presenter. That is also something that you can do to contribute and make our industry more diverse. We want to hear the opinions and the perspectives of anyone in the community. Anyone who's working in our industry has the same say in what they want to share. And so Global Diversity CFP Day is really a very nice initiative. And I very much liked working with that. And actually, as a result of that, we still have this ongoing kind of partnership and friendship, actually, with the local Hack Your Future team, which again is such a nice initiative. And Sherry, who's also in chat, is actually chairwoman of Hack Your Future in Denmark. I'm just partnering with them in Belgium, but they're actually a coding. Well, this is completely off topic, but I think it's very valuable that we share also these stories. So Hack Your Future is basically a coding school, and they have chapters in Denmark, in the Netherlands, and in Belgium, where they actually help refugees that come into your countries to become actually programmers, to become developers. And these people come with these sometimes very, well, almost horrific stories in why they came to your country. They don't just come here not for any particular reason. They have genuine reasons why they are fleeing from their countries. And so Hack Your Future is really helping those people build up a new future in software development. And it's really amazing to hear that also these, and I've been coaching some of them in these boot camps, to hear their stories, their backgrounds, and also how their backgrounds actually kind of shape how they look at development. So they work on different assignments, and what is so nice to see is that they bring their background, which is completely non-IT, to how they solve or how they look at solving a specific software problem. And yeah, it's really heartwarming, and I so much enjoy working with the people, both the organizers as well as the actual students of Hack Your Future. It's well, if you want to do good, go look in your local communities. There is Hack Your Future. There's a lot of other initiatives where you can help people outside of your professional sphere, help them and make sure our developer community becomes more diverse, and where you just help, where you mentor, you coach. As said, everyone can share something. Everyone can bring their piece of value to someone else, and basically that's what you do. And it's not for the T-shirt that we're in. It's basically want to help people. Yep.
And that's you know what it is about, and what enriches us ourselves, but also our ecosystem. So yeah, if you are interested in starting to code, there is an event coming up as well. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, I want to start coding, but I need inspiration, I need some guidance here and there, then you can join a great event which is called Start Dev Change. It's on October 14th and 15th, and you can find it at startdevchange.com.
Yes, and it's for beginner developers, right?
Yeah. So if you need a little push, then that might be something for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Siri. Okay. I don't know why.
Oh.
There's like one Apple device in this whole house, and this is the one responding. So good. Yes, but please do. And you know, if you're like I know I'm good coder, good. That's great. But look around you. Is there more people who want to get started? And I get the question quite often, but that's maybe because Nick and we're both in developer relations. But from kids, from parents who say, "Hey, but you work at Microsoft. You know, how can my kid thinks coding is cool? Hey, how can I start?" Or maybe there's like a person there's like a massive change going on at this moment, and we can only be afraid of maybe how long this will take. But for sure, we know that a lot of people lost their jobs and are looking into, hey, how can I pursue a different career path? And for them, events like this can also maybe be good. So, you know, help them, coach them, let them start with open source. It's the best way to fill up your resume as well. So, and to get to know a lot of people. So yeah, that's startdevchange.com. I just want to run, if you're okay with that, I just want to run that commercial because I really love it.
Roll the video, Suzanne.
You roll the video, yes, good.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of makes me happy.
Yes, and the music is so energizing.
Yes, it is. It is. And you can only imagine how many times I heard that music the past, I don't know, day. I think yes, that's today. But it really gets you forget about your lunch.
Who is it? Who is it that always use the word pumped?
Pumped. Well, not me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It was such a nice and energizing kind of ad. I think they call it an ad.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We call it a pre-roll, I think.
Yes.
I'm catching up with the lingo. I don't know, but let's not call it an ad.
No.
A motivational thingy. Okay, good.
Yes.
Thingy. Yes, the thingy. Can you send me the link for the thingy? Yes, I can. Good. Well, I think people are done with us talking by now. I hope.
Otherwise we go on forever, it seems.
Oh yes, we can talk for hours, probably. So if you don't have a pressing thing to discuss in the chat, then we'll take some refreshments as well.
Yes.
Please, take a look at the projects. If you look at our website, that's contributing.today. There you'll see our live stream, which is good because we can ramble on forever. But on the bottom right, there is a button for the interviews. Just click them and you can sit back and relax because that might be over an hour worth of interviews. And there's more interviews coming, right, Nick?
Yes, indeed. I think we have a number of them still lined up. As I said, people are, maintainers projects. They're so plentiful and so open to share. We're working on those, and they should come up over the coming days and weeks. While October is running, we keep on publishing these nice interviews so that you can learn about the projects and also how you can contribute. What are kind of the things they're looking for? And we kind of mentioned it before. Open source contributions. It's not just about contributing source code. There's so many things that you can help with. And so that's what they explain in those short interviews. What can you contribute? And also, where do you get started? Because that is key as well. So where, as a beginner, as someone new to their project, how can you get started? Because what kind of amazes me is we also have Git and Git for Windows in the list. It's these tools you use every single day.
The world runs on that.
That the world indeed runs on.
Yeah.
That you never wondered, like, is this something I can contribute to?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And just look at the interview. And we also publish them on Dev. So you can also read them. Yes, this is amazing because like these kinds of projects and you don't think about it. Like these are the tools which you just use every single day. This whole event wouldn't have existed if Git were away. So just imagine how many people you can help by contributing to these projects. And that aside, you sometimes have these projects, but then there's a whole ecosystem, a whole bunch of companies also built upon some tooling or around some tooling. Like we probably know some company built up around Git.
Yeah, indeed. Either they build indeed some additional functionality, some additional tooling inside of your development environment. It's amazing how one project can spark so many different new projects. and a whole ecosystem, as you say. It's quite impressive.
Like earlier today, we had the Umbraco user group meetup. They say it's a Dutch, but I was at the event virtually, of course. Like, you know, the world, you know, it's such a hugely used project and product. It's amazing to see how many people rely on this, both professionally, but you know, also a lot of companies who are built upon this software or use it every single day as a major part of their toolbox.
Yeah, indeed.
So just take a look at those projects. Just, you know, reach out to the maintainers. We know it's extremely easy to reach them. We just send emails like, hey, do you want to do an interview? And they're like, oh yeah, of course, sure.
Yeah. Yes, it's this.
And it's super easy to be in contact. And well, just look at the interviews. They're all nice people. They all have a good message to tell. And the thing I heard the most is just start. Just join us.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just come over. We don't care about your skill set. It's a different thing when you want to do, of course, the coding thing. Then it might be a good thing to know something about the language you're coding. But for some projects, that's not even important, because a lot of projects, they say, yeah, well, people come to our project and they start learning this programming language.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to do this.
Oh, and by the way, while you're learning something new, why not contribute some getting started guide to that project?
Yes.
How did you get started with that specific project? Your learnings can be added and can then help the other people after you that still need to learn to get started even easier. So again, anything, and that was indeed the feedback I got as well from many of the maintainers, is any help is fine. Not one contribution is better than another. We can use any help, and whoever wants to help, they're very welcome to do so. I think with that, Suzanne.
Yes.
Well, actually, one thing I was looking at while kind of preparing for our little introductions that we do for the speakers, there were some very interesting and some funny things I noticed with some of the speakers, like the things they're involved with sometimes that you don't expect. So, for example, Monica, who did the together with Ted Hudek, who did the workshop on inclusive and accessible documentation, she actually worked with the team that worked on the Large Hadron Collider in CERN.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I was like, wow. How would it be if you could kind of work with the engineers and the people in research on the LHC experiment in CERN, and also like Tetiana Choprina, who did the session on Git. Well, she was a volunteer for UEFA.
Yeah.
For the football. Like, wow, these are
people have interesting
cool stories.
Yeah.
So that already is something which they're amazing bunch of people, and this is also something which I see often is there's this stereotype of the computer nerd who is like single focused on writing code in his or her room behind their computer, tapping away, typically with the hoodie. But many people in our industry are so also diverse in their interests. and the things they do, either they're musical, they're creative, they're in doing design work next to their development work. There's so many inspiring stories there, and interesting stories to be heard. And it's it kind of links back to the question Jeroen had about our backgrounds. It's interesting to see behind well, what are people doing that are in our industry? What have they done? What are they doing next to their professional or hobby things?
Yeah, it would not amaze me if there's a lot of people who have a creative side as well. Because, you know, if you want to code, then you have to somehow be creative.
Yeah, indeed.
So, and with creative, I don't mean removing a comment and adding it, or like not that kind of creativity, but real coding. But it's you know, and that's what might be the case. So maybe it is a good thing that we dive into that sometime.
Yeah.
Let's see what all those people do, because it might be time to let go of that image with that hoodie.
Yeah.
And in the dark basement kind of stuff. Yes. There's so many interesting people out there, and we tend to speak to a lot of those. So sometimes we forget that some people, well, might only see people who look like themselves, or who have the same hobbies, or think the same.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I think that we could maybe remind people one more time, as a refresher, that there was a swag giveaway.
Oh, yes, was there? Oh,
Are
yes.
you going to put the link in or not? Because so there were 3 letters.
Only 3?
4?
Yes, we had.
4 letters.
We reached 4 letters already. Yes, and so we've been teasing for quite a long time now.
Yes, it's the S, the U, the D, and the O.
Yeah.
Yes. It might be hustled. It might not be hustled. Who knows? Who knows? But it is a very, very well-known Linux command. Yes. So there you have it.
So
yes, it's the root of all evil.
Oh, this. Yep.
Yes, this is really bad, but I think we have a bot in the chat room, by the way. If we say swag, then there's a bot impersonating Sherry. Someone said swag.
Yes.
Swag.
And it always comes up with a Giphy.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm just putting a message in our chat now, announcing.
Good. Well, Nick
publishes
a message in the chat. I would like you to scan maybe a QR code and earn yourself a learner badger and learn more about the new rewards for open source contributions. The Sorcerer Badger. Still not the link in the chat. This is amazing.
It is
Yes.
there. Ooh.
Good.
Oh, and by the
Okay.
way, one thing I want to mention there as well, and I'll put it in the chat as well, is yes, we are asking for your shipping details. Because of course, we need to send your swag pack somewhere. But we will be deleting all of this as soon as we have shipped the package to you. So rest assured,
Yes.
this is not data that we are keeping at all. So we just need it for shipping the package to your home, to your office, wherever you like, and then we'll get rid of those details. Yeah. All right.
Yes, we are in no way interested in your details.
Not at all.
Nope. We do want to get to know you, but then more personally, and not your address.
Nope. Oh, and by the way, it's we personally, as speakers here, we are not even getting your address details. So don't send us an email. Don't reach out to us and say like it's the wrong address or this address should be this and that. We're not getting those details ourselves either. So this gets shipped and handled by people that are dealing with personal detailed information. Okay, just so you know. Anything you wanted to add, Suzanne?
No, very nice people who sent out stuff all the time. So yes, socks, socks,
and stickers,
and stickers. A lot of stickers. So that's one thing. Like in Corona times, that well, I send stuff to my home, but sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna bring that to the office at some point. And now it's like an office full of boxes here. So yes.
Oh, I know this feeling.
If you really want socks, then let me know. But, help me get rid of them. My fiance would be very happy to get rid of that stuff.
Oh, but winter's coming, so socks can come in handy.
Yes, that's another series which it's not on a streaming service I watch. Why is it so difficult to obtain that like? I want to understand the references as well, actually.
Oh, by the way, I came across this other idea of swag, which were shoelaces, which I found interesting as well.
Shoelaces?
Yes. That seemed to be something new, because we see socks everywhere. Shoelaces, which are branded. Seems to be nice.
Give me a picture.
Wait a second.
Sudo, get me a picture.
I think they were from PyCon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me search for those.
I have one vote for the shoelaces.
Yeah.
2, I think. But it's the person. I don't know if it's a person. Sherry in the chat. I think it's a bot because.
No.
No.
No. Yeah. No one can be so fast with posting a Giphy. It must be a bot.
No. Yes, exactly.
Our chief GIF officer.
Shoelaces.
Yes. While I look this up.
Hey, wait! While we look this up.
Yeah.
I can do a little stretch. This is, yeah, I should do this more often. Like,
I couldn't find the PyCon shoelaces, unfortunately.
this is, I'm so disappointed now. Oh, how even? Wait, let me. If who is watching can find a picture of a branded shoelace.
Yeah, those you can find.
Let me use Bing.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
I came
All in
across
merchant
them.
list. Okay. Yeah. Wait,
They do exist, and I saw
yes,
them.
I see that now.
Saw them at PyCon. So that might be a new thing. So we have
That might
swag.
be a new thing.
So we have swag socks, and now we go for swag shoelaces, and they don't take as much space in your home if you have to stash all those boxes.
Yes. Yes, I was thinking after the past week, umbrellas. Ellas.
Wait. They're starting to come in handy, especially in our parts of in our hemisphere.
Oh yeah, you can logo on them. Is that
Yes.
what you?
Yes,
let
indeed.
me
Can
try
you pull
not
them
to
up?
include the. Yeah, well, whatever. You know.
Some brand. Full disclosure: we're not getting paid for this.
Yeah, it's some.
We have no sponsors.
We're not getting paid for this. This is. I don't want to. Probably. Let me here. Let me take.
But there are branded shoelaces.
So like, and then you print.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Kind of what you were
it.
breaking up, huh? But yeah, that might be something. You're not convinced.
Okay.
You can hear.
Should maybe make it a. I'm not sure. What would you put on them then? Like, little logos or yeah. I think if Xbox would I would defo wear them like green.
Yeah, the flashy green ones. Or it would be nice, of course, if you have sneakers and you have like a sentence, and so each kind of little bar that you have on your shoes gives you one word of that sentence. You could have like, I see that.
Oh,
code.
I can imagine
something like that.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine or something. And hopefully it'll fit. Awk. I don't know. That's
an awk statement.
Yes, maybe. Would that fit?
Well, maybe. Well, you have two shoes. They can run across two shoes, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I'm not that convinced, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we can just order them and make something fun out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a test pair. Wait, let me send an email.
On the topic of awk, have you used that recently?
No.
Neither have I. So as you brought it up, I was
without any shame, without any shame.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this is what happens, because when you and this is something, you know, which is kind of difficult sometimes. It's when you leave any form of operational business. Those are the tools you need. Like the world is hanging together with these kinds of tools.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. But if you quit anything related to operations, chances are you might be using it for your home automation or some scripting or some. But then again, this is a long time ago. Yes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same for me. Set and awk, and well, even grep. I think grep is kind of the one that I used most recently of those, which kind of comes in handy. But yeah, awk, I can't remember when I last used it.
Grep, that's a thing which I had when I joined Microsoft. I worked in sales, and there were some things which we had in spreadsheets across multiple spreadsheets, and that was the moment where it was undoable for people not proficient enough with Excel to merge that information in something while transforming it. So I did the most interesting combination of commands. But eventually, of course, it worked, and way faster than when I had to learn certain spreadsheet programs or something.
Oh yeah,
I'm not proficient with that. I think it's brilliant. People can do a lot of stuff with it. It's a whole new, whole new thing.
I think you have people using Excel and making these very advanced kind of almost functions or programs almost with these Excel functions. You can consider it development within the environment of Excel. If I need to dive into Excel and come up with a function, quite recently I had to come up with something to do conditional formatting, and I had to use a function. Well, I had to go and Bing it to come up with how to do it, how to format some cells in a given color based on some value. It is, if you're, as you were saying, if you don't use some things daily or in your daily job, it's so easy to forget them.
But it is actually kind of powerful, because I like to keep my mind fresh, and so I sometimes watch sessions of people who are like magicians with this kind of stuff, and if you see what they can achieve, and it's amazing. If you're proficient in that, you can do the most beautiful things. Even with AI stuff added to that, that's really strong. You see it in all kinds of places, of course, but in those boring applications, it's amazing. You want subtitles? Oh, well, just start up a presentation. You have subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but if somebody speaks another language, well, they just use an app and they put in the code and they will see the translation live. And what happened?
What did I miss?
What did I miss? even. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see that that even in those applications, it's super useful, of course, and makes the world more inclusive. But yeah, that's rambling.
Yes.
Good. So we put in the link for the swag, so
Yes.
that's we can cross off the list.
Yes, your to-do list.
Yes, my to-do list. It's here actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, do not choose Kubernetes as project. Oh, that's my note. Wait.
Yeah. I thought the advice from Sasha.
Yes, I would not choose that
yes.
project because it's too big. Can be a reason.
Yeah.
But then again, then again, if people stay away from those projects who can give another perspective, then why is it too big?
Yeah, that begs a question indeed. So how do you welcome new people into your project? If your bar of entry is so high, that is too high, maybe you should then have something that makes it more welcoming to new people to contribute.
Yeah. And what I wanted to add, and it's there's also another way where you can help, of course, and that's if you find out about a new technology or a new project and you think that it is useful. Being an advocate for this stuff, like sharing content or doing speaking engagements, that also can be a major help because people won't learn about your project if you stay stable. So yes, I'm going to put, by the way, this on screen. There you go. Well, here we have branded shoelaces.
Yes, those are the ones.
So you have functions.
Yes.
Plus Python.
Azure Invent.
Yes.
What's the fourth one? Oh my god, I'm embarrassed that I don't know this logo.
Yeah.
The fourth logo with the two arrows.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. I don't get the.
Yeah. Because functions plus Python equals two arrows.
It can go any way, maybe.
Yeah.
Functions plus Python, it can go any way. Or
it can go in all directions. Yeah. I
yes.
think so. Must be something.
Yeah. Must have some special. Okay. Well, but this is shoelace swag.
Yes. And stickers.
Well,
it's from our Australian
you
colleagues.
Don't stop learning. We don't stop learning.
You never stop learning.
When I woke up this morning, I would never have guessed that I would learn about branded shoelaces, but yet here we are.
Indeed.
Is this a time to be alive?
It is. We learn something every day.
we learn something, yeah. We should, yeah.
We should aim at learning something every day.
Yeah, I think maybe the answer is coming.
From? You think Sherry's going to post something?
I'd hope.
We were hoping for a Giphy from Sherry.
No, I was hoping for the answer. No. Oh. Well,
yeah. Maybe we'll have to do. So that's one of the nice things as well with AI and vision, computer vision, is that you can do a reverse lookup of an image.
Yes.
So that's something that we could do. Just feed it into your favorite search engine and do a reverse image lookup. And maybe it will come up.
And this is where also a little bit of risk is, of course. If you are able to look up images and you can do definition,
Yes.
this can have serious impact for people. And this is where you always get the gray area with ethics and technology.
Yes, indeed. So where indeed, to what extent can you enforce ethical use of technology? Which is not an easy thing to get an answer for. So this is Excel mastery.
I'm not sure about this. There's something going on. I can't even.
It's strict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there used to be. I'm not sure if it's still the case in the new versions of Excel, but there used to be these Easter eggs in there. If you went to some very kind of way to the right column in your Excel spreadsheet and typed in a specific combination of values, it came up with was it a game or something? Do you recall this, Susan? Or are you going to look it up now? Are you looking up that little that you were looking up that icon now?
Oh wait, Azure Static Apps want to use your camera. Okay, let me.
We are now in very dangerous territory.
I'm not sure what's happening now.
Well, we see your browser screen.
Oh wait, I maybe must click the button or something.
Oh, this is sharing this one.
I don't. Yes, otherwise I might not have clicked it. But I'm not sure what should happen. But life is too short to wait for stuff to happen.
Oh, well, you're back.
Good. Yes, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Maybe I will take a look tomorrow.
Yeah.
You need to have your camera. Your camera's in use. Oh dear.
Well, we can see you.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Oh, I can use another camera. Wait. Why don't you tell something funny?
Should I tell something funny? What else is there that I can talk about?
Wait. Let somebody else say something. Yeah.
Roll the video.
Hey, I'm Derek Stoley. I work at GitHub, and I'm a contributor to the Git project and other projects related to Git. Git is the distributed version control software that's taken over the world. Almost every developer uses Git in order to track their source code and history and to share it on places like GitHub. And we specifically look for people who have some sort of itch they want to scratch, something that they've noticed in Git they would like workflow is but where most contribute in. We have a few items that are kind of cleanup and refactorings that require a little bit of care. And we have a few features like improving the Git sparse checkout built in or the Git maintenance built in that are relatively that have some more polish that could be added. one of my favorite features is the Git sparse checkout, which allows you to take your working directory and scope it down into a small set. Usually you start from small and you grow it, and the command is built that way too. So you can do things like set to this scope or to grow it. It'd be interesting to be able to remove directories one by one. I also work on a maintenance built-in, which is a way of keeping your Git data clean and running fast. It has a few more that are taking over for the git gc command, and those git gc tabs could be pulled into the maintenance. The number one working in Git is to be very motivated and persistent. You're going to have to learn a lot on your way and be able to be self-directed in terms of learning what people have done before and taking that as an example. Of course, it does help to have some C programming and shell scripting experience. To get started, you can subscribe to the Git. All of our communication happens where all of our patches are submitted and reviewed. But also you can take a look at the Git for Windows contributing guide, and also Git Gadget repository, which is a way for easily submitting patches, and it includes an issue tracker.
Well, now
And we're back.
this happened.
But Suzanne is not visible.
Yes. No,
So that was a great video from Derek Stoley,
Yeah.
who's working as a maintainer for the Git project. And actually, Derek is also available in our Discord channel. So if there is, if you do want to contribute to Git or Git for Windows, yeah, do post your questions in the corresponding channels within our Discord, on our Discord server. One of the things I liked really much about Derek's little interview is what is kind of the key thing to get started with Git is you need to be motivated. It's just kind of fun. So, hello, Suzanne.
Yes. So yeah. So I
Well,
will
we
be
can
like.
see you, but we don't hear you. Oh no. So Suzanne is
Yes.
enjoying some computer vision AI technology. Just wondering if we make GIFs out of this. It's amazing what you can do with AI. So, hi Suzanne. How did I go?
Well, that was
That was exciting.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, it was quite good actually in how it detected your emotions. It came up with
and Sherry accepts feature requests.
Oh wow! So Sherry posts basically the GitHub repo where we can file a feature. Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
This would be a great feature that you can. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, and yeah, we talked earlier about some of our speakers and having some different passions. Actually, I noticed that Lian, who talked about the code of conduct, actually in her spare time, she likes to dive into neural networks. I was like, what? Is that something you do in your spare time? go and dive into neural networks. It is quite an exciting domain of machine learning. I think pretty much everything seems to turn around neural networks. I'm not sure how much you are. Is that something that you're into, Suzanne? I don't know.
No, I'm not really that into that kind of stuff. And I think it's mighty interesting to have all kinds of people being really, really, really enthusiastic about it. And I'm like, hey, cool! It can recognize my smiley.
Yes, and actually,
and I'm so happy that people are able to do fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's a good thing, because it generally comes down to, you have this technology and what are you going to do with it? Like, you have these pre-trained models, which you can just leverage as a service, but that alone can already make a massive impact.
Yes.
It can already make a difference for a lot of stuff. So even though I have no clue what is a neural network and if people some service might use it, I understand the services and I see what I can do today, and let alone what we can do tomorrow. But what I will say is, you can wait until you have 20 data scientists, but you can start today by implementing pieces in your software. And this is why it's such an amazing time to be in this business. The services are growing as well. But if you are into neural networks, please let me leave smarter than I am.
Oh yeah,
it's not that difficult.
Well, it is something I like to dive into a bit, neural networks. But one thing I've found, well, I think the concept of neural networks is okay. One of the drawbacks of neural networks is that it tends to be this magical solution to every single problem nowadays in machine learning. Is that if you want to kind of get your machine learning model to come up with something, whether it's a forecast or recognize something, it's like throw it in a neural network and it will come up with a solution, which is good. So they are very flexible and they can be very complex. But the huge drawback up until quite recently, that the drawback was also that they were so intransparent. They were really black boxes. So you throw something in, something comes out, but you have no visibility to how it came to that specific solution. And so that kind of brings it back to the problem of ethics. So what if your input data is biased? You will get a response, but your response will be biased as well to your input data. And so that whole kind of lack of transparency in these neural networks was an issue. And so quite recently, you have this movement of and quite good, actually. It was about time, of what we call responsible AI, where you can start to get visibility into what were the parameters that were taken into account to get from a given input to a given output, so that at least if your data set is biased, you will know that it's biased. You will get some information about it. So then it's up to your judgment, of course, can you live with that bias? But at least you have an idea that the problem exists in your data set. And so that's something that's quite an evolution that I'm quite happy to see, that the world of machine learning is also is moving into is being considerate about the problems of ethics. So yeah, responsible AI, definitely something I kind of watch and look at with a lot of interest to see that. But that was on a completely different note. Yeah, but it is fun.
Tiny scope creep.
Yes. But yeah, definitely something to explore. But as you say, these pre-made or ready-made AI services, they are evolving so rapidly. And really, if you are looking at doing something, creating more intelligent applications, do take a look at those AI services. They will get you a long way already. And maybe if afterwards you need something more custom, there are solutions as well which can make that easy for you. There's things like automated machine learning and other things which can get you a long way as well. But indeed, it's why not build on all of the intelligence and work that has been put in those pre-made services first, and see if that already solved your problem. And many of those solutions you see are actually built on ready-made or pre-made AI services. Yeah. So yeah, that was our little AI intermezzo, actually.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, by the way,
Explains.
yeah.
What?
Any other thing you kind of noticed in the last couple of weeks in terms of technology evolutions or things that came out that were of particular interest to you?
I think being able to pass pull requests is a great thing.
Yeah.
But that's really fresh. Yeah, it's a bit. There's so many things happening, and what you see is that technology takes giant leaps all over, and it's like you are already discussing stuff, and maybe it's just because sometimes we are very close to the fire, but there's so many things happening. Which I a year ago wouldn't even think about happening. We are discussing themes, applications of technology, which I wouldn't even know where to start. We're throwing data centers underwater.
Yeah.
We're talking about satellite connections from a cloud provider. We're like hybrid. It's finally like there's been a lot of work into hybrid.
Yep.
And that luckily is across various companies, but that's quite big because it really brings the power which you need. It brings it close to you.
Yeah.
Because you can put software in like, I don't know, if in a little Raspberry or something, but then again, it won't have a lot of power. It won't have what you said, neural networks, AI, vision. It won't have those things.
Yeah.
Skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can combine it now. So I think that the steps taken there are quite big. I think on the data side, there's some breakthroughs, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's interesting times. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I kind of looked a bit on the whole Kubernetes side and all of the satellite projects that go around it as well. And one thing, as you were saying, you were talking about the Raspberry Pi. You see these pictures of people popping up that are actually stacking up their Raspberry Pis and run a Kubernetes cluster on them. Which is kind of fun because that takes basically a Kubernetes, which you run on these tiny little machines. But just as well, you can take that Kubernetes, run it on a server, or you take it and just run it as a service somewhere in a cloud. But basically, as a developer, you don't really care. So it's that abstraction, that portability, which is really nice. However, what is also of interest to me is this: the whole thing, and I'm kind of staying in the kind of Microsoft focused a bit, but is this movement or this concept of Dapper, where you take a further abstraction of, you take the application and you say, these are the capabilities I need. Just run it on some platform. And not just a serverless function, because that's just one little piece where you are within a very specific context saying that this is a function, I run it on some serverless technology. But you take a full application with maybe you need some pub sub, maybe you need some data store, you need some security, some authentication, and you say, I define my application model and I run it somewhere. And I'm basically have an additional abstraction layer, and I should no longer even know that it's running on one or another technology. You're just specifying what are the capabilities that I need. And it's that further evolution, that further abstraction of almost making the technology irrelevant or invisible to the application developer, which I find interesting. And I like to kind of see how far can you push it. And also, because as you add more abstraction, of course, to some extent, you take away some flexibility or some customizability.
Yeah, there's always a trade-off.
Yeah, and so that is interesting to see as well. To what extent, how do you make an abstraction that is still generic enough so that you can accommodate many different application scenarios versus, well, still gaining from that abstraction by reusing it in many different contexts. So that's stuff which I find kind of interesting to see happening and to see how far we can take that, because that is, again, it's I think we've always been interested in or been involved in abstractions. If you think about the four GLs. Where people try to make an abstraction of a programming language and they build up layers on top. It has or SDLs. All of those things, yes, to some extent they were to some extent successful, but not really in a broad way. So I'd like to see if we can do that same exercise more on a application infrastructure side.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where this will head, but it is necessary to somehow simplify things again.
Yeah,
it's so enormously complex, and then I'm not talking about Hello World, which is obviously fine, and I'm the queen of doing Hello World at scaling, breaking, everything, but making it suitable to host your environment, and it is difficult, and I think because the what makes it challenging is that it goes so fast. That the whole community, if you specifically look at Kubernetes and the whole ecosystem around it, it goes so fast. You can't keep up with it. And then, of course, it doesn't help if projects don't end up in Cloud Native Foundation, for instance. And people have to think, okay, what does it mean? What does it mean to me? And where am I going to invest? Where everybody is right now? Or in a more sustainable future? I don't know. It's interesting times. But anything that abstracts, I'm not sure if we are able to abstract so many things. But then again, if you look at, let's just mention serverless.
Yeah,
that is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, and that is, quite abstract already.
Yeah, it is.
If you add a layer to that, and you are able to push that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The whole indeed serverless and abstraction there, and serverless for not just running a piece of code, but also pushing those serverless models also to your data tier, having your databases in a serverless model, storage as a serverless model, which basically already is the case. If you look at whether it's S3 or Azure Storage, or basically storage in a serverless manner, you don't know what servers are beneath it, and you pay for your requests and your volume.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, and it just scales and it just handles whatever requests you give it without you having to know that there are file servers underneath them. Are there? I don't know. But yeah, it is very nice concept, and it also, as you add more abstractions, and it comes back to the complexity of projects and technology. You make the technology more accessible by removing hurdles or by taking away some of the complexities of the specific technology.
Yeah, but this will also change, like for many people, will change also their jobs. I don't know, but we can think of the examples because we've both been in consultancy, so we've been around. Yeah, like storage people, database people. Yeah, there's a massive change in those roles, and now that stuff is getting more and more mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really impacts those people as well. So write code, people. Write code.
Yes.
If you're a network engineer, you are very good at solving problems, probably. Write code.
Well, yeah, indeed. It takes...
Come to the dark side. We've got cookies. Yeah.
Yes, dark side and cookies. Yeah. But yeah, very interesting evolutions that we see happening in our industry, and it is to some extent hard to keep up, but it's also fun to kind of keep up or try to keep up. I think it's challenging, but it's still, I think the challenge in itself, it's nice to see things moving and try to kind of understand what is happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But also, yeah, being mindful of, well, it's not always easy for everyone, and that comes back to the how inclusive are we as an industry, is that not everybody has always the time and resources to keep up, because we take it for granted that you, as an IT person, you need to continuously learn and keep up with evolutions. But hey, you can't expect people to spend like 15, 16 hours a day to try to keep up. So that is something that we need to take into account as well, is how can we accommodate people in our industry to still have a sustainable way of working and learning. And this is then the whole work-life balance. Yeah, make sure that there is a balance and not an imbalance.
Yeah, it's good that you mention it, and I particularly like the efforts of bringing, making it more easy to gain this knowledge. By doing online learning. Of course, everything is online nowadays, but
yeah.
Just to take an example, you can just go to your favorite product, and you can probably do some online training for that.
Yeah.
But we have to tell those people. We have to tell them that you don't need to read books or anything that much, or that you have to study, which makes me always think of the discussion on degrees. It was popping up on Twitter a few days back again.
Mhm.
You know, yes, a degree. Yeah, you need a degree to apply to, for instance, work at Microsoft. Yeah, well, I disagree with that, and it should be a policy that that's not the case.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who work in tech without any degree. I don't have a degree. I just wanted to do programming stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
want to go to school.
Yeah.
They taught me stuff like program in Pascal and in assembly and I don't know. And I was like, yeah, but when are we going to do like common programming languages? Yes, in the fourth class. What? I don't have time in my life to wait 4 years to have one like half year of experience, because of course you have to go out there as well for half a year or something. I don't have time in my life to do that.
Yeah, it is.
How can you learn? Like, you don't learn from you do maybe learn something, but with the speed of things evolving, my education is worthless, because we learn stuff about how data is saved across a hard disk. How does that work? Well, I just upload it to S3, and it's like, hey,
Yep.
I'm doing good.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I guess it depends on what part of our industry you're in. And some information probably will be of interest to you. But as you say, things are evolving so rapidly. Well, not to say that a degree does not matter at all, but to some extent, I'm kind of more in favor of does someone have the skills that are needed for a particular job, regardless of the fact that either you have a degree or not. Because just there are indeed, as you say, many people in IT that are very skilled people, but that didn't go for a degree, but they got a lot of experience, either by exploring things, experimenting things. And on the other hand, you have people with the degree that have the degree, but may not necessarily have the practical experience to do a specific, to fill in a specific role. And yeah, it's how you look at what is needed in this particular role versus what skills does a person have, and judging that just based on a degree is indeed not is a failed system.
yes, I tend to agree with that. And like you said, it's not that a degree is worthless or anything. It's just like, should it be a criteria to not engage with people and not see if they are skilled? And I don't want to do the discussion around around the coding interview. So I'm not sure about that. There's more things around this, but yeah.
Well, again, it's how do you measure someone's skills, and what are the tactics that you employ for measuring someone's skills? And indeed, a coding interview in itself may be considered like, yes, we're looking for a programmer, so we're going to give that person a coding interview. We're going to let them write some code, probably while they're stressed, because it's an interview. Is that the right context? Because probably they have the skills, but maybe they're not performing well under that kind of stress, under that kind of situation. So proving that you can do some coding I think is valid if you're looking for a programmer. But then it's indeed, how do you measure that, and what is kind of the context in which you test that person? But that's a tricky one, I'd say, to measure, because then on the other hand, you could say, well, let's look at somebody's GitHub contributions chart and look at what contributions they made in the public. But again, that's a tricky situation, because not about everybody has the same access to contributing to open source and have that filled chart up there for their CV, have their green boxed CV as a programmer.
And yet here we are giving away pillows.
Yes, but it's not, well, I agree. On the other hand, what's our criterion for giving away that pillow?
Well, you have to know the letters which we mentioned during the day. Yes, there's 4 letters.
Yes.
I remember the letter S.
Yeah.
Wait. Let me see. I can look it up. We first had the letter S. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Then we had the letter U. Haha.
Oh. Wow.
Then we had Tatiana to talk about the introduction to Git, which is not
may not be relevant for this discussion.
No. Then we had the D, and well, the last letter was the O.
Oh, not a 0.
Oh. No, not a 0, an O. If you put in a 0, then it will be wrong.
Yes.
You will fail the test.
Will fail the test indeed.
You will fail the test. You will not know. So then you can overrule it by using sudo to put in the command again. Now, so in the link on contributing.today in the chat, there's a link. If you scroll up, it's something you will recognize. It has the word swag in it. And you can put in the magic word, and we will send you some pillows, which might be green, which might be white, which might be dark green, might be light green. It doesn't matter, as long as you take time to rest a little bit on it, and don't stress too much about what your chart looks like.
Indeed.
Okay. So that was what I wanted to add about that. Now we will probably be giving this away more times during this month. We are having this evening as a kickoff, this day as a kickoff, and next Tuesday at 5 we will be back. With the weekly meetups.
Yeah. So what do we have actually?
Well, if you look at the first meetup, we have Marit van Dijk, who will talk about collaborating on open source.
Yeah.
And there's a project of the week, which will be Spring Boot. And Stefan will come. Stefan Nicole. Will come to talk a bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest of the month, each Tuesday at 5 CET, we have interesting meetup. We have somebody from OpenWC, WC, OpenWC. Well.
WC, yes.
Corona Melder, which is the Dutch Corona app. Corona alerting app, which had a lot of, which was a hot topic for quite some time. So that's fun as well. Mm-hmm. If you're interested about that, by the way, Corona Melder, I don't know if there's a channel for them yet, but that will be on October 20th. they will be here.
Yes.
But you can always join the Slack for Code for NL, which is a fun crowd of people interested in open source and government in the Netherlands. Jeroen Heijmans will talk about getting your first 100 GitHub stars. Yeah, so it will be like the whole month long. We will have meetups, and we welcome you to our Discord server and engage with us. We'll also be putting out interviews as soon as the event is over. They will be back on the schedule on this website, so you can watch them per project. Reach out to the maintainers. We're not here to get you to any conference or meetup or anything. We just want you to contribute to open source one way or another. So yes, and if you contribute to open source, you can get a badger. It's the Open Sorcerer badger, which is part of a community program from Microsoft. There's all kinds of gifts coming now. I'm distracted. It's a kitty. How can I talk if there's a kitty in the chat?
No,
I can't even. Okay, so let's roll the video one more time. Keep your QR code scanner ready and go. Roll the video.
Roll it now. Now we're back.
Yay.
By the way, for those people that were already familiar with the Azure Heroes, did you know that for some of the badgers, you can actually customize them? Woohoo! Yes.
What?
Yes. So, for example, the learner that you have just received, if you click on it in your wallet, in your Azure Heroes wallet, you will see a little customize button pop up over that one. And it will give you a number of different variations.
Let me check it.
If you have a learner badger, you can open it up and it will show you a customize. So you have a one-time chance to customize your badger.
Okay, let me look up my, yes, Azure Heroes. Okay, I happen to have a learner badger.
Yes.
So let me open it. Okay, I can. And where do I?
You should see on top of your, if you open up the details of your learner,
Yes.
it will give you a
Oh,
customize button.
let me get a recent one. Oh yes, this is a recent one. Yes. Learner, are you sure you would like to do this? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is. I can change colors of
Yes.
my badger, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ah, nice.
So now you learned something new. So
Oh, I can claim another learner badger. Yeah, so I like the. Oh. Yeah, I like the. I'm going a green one. Enter password. Okay, well,
you can use Touch ID.
I will not enter my password, but no, it won't. But I'm not sure why. But yes, well, that's actually quite cool. So I do have a feature request, of course, because I would love to have my badger in a spacesuit, because somehow I really feel close to the space badger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
But yes, you can change the learner badger, builder badger, and kudos badger.
Yes.
Which is fun.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
You can change. And there are more updates coming.
Oh, nice.
So yes.
That's good, busy. And the open sorcerer badger is extremely cool as well. But yeah, not as cool as the green badger. That's that looks really cute. I would want to cuddle it, which is disturbing because it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
But yes, here we are.
We are so real.
Yeah, we are so real. Yes. But we also can't cuddle because of the regulations, which we, of course, have to follow. Yes. Good. I was distracted.
Yes.
There was one thing.
You were. Yes. You wanted to talk about something?
Well,
one thing we discussed about the things that we discussed earlier before the event actually was the topic of branching strategies. So I kind of read up a bit on branching strategies. So feature branches, and you have the fact of, should you be committing directly to your main branch?
Should we discuss this? Yeah. So, well, the word says it all. It's a strategy, right?
Yeah.
And you know, yes, maybe you should. Yes, maybe you should, and maybe you should not have a very complex branching strategy. Maybe you should, I don't know, have a specific sprint branching strategy. But personally, I have seen that fail.
Which one?
I have seen that a sprint branching.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially, I don't know, it might work for some people, but then again, you know, it's a strategy. So I think it's good to think about it. What am I going to do? What is my workflow? What feels comfortable?
Yeah.
Maybe you should experiment with it. Not maybe with your production application, but maybe use a small side project. Or, you know, a little microservers you have anywhere. Like everybody, no, not everybody, but a lot of people use microservices. Well, you might want to try a different branching strategy out with your team.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what's your vision on this?
Yeah,
I'm more like always trying things out, and yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always good to, whatever you do, to know why you do them, why you're doing them.
Yeah.
To make deliberate decisions rather than do something for the sake of following the hype. So it's not because some company or some group of people like to do, I don't know, the Git flow strategy, with release branches and whatever, that is appropriate for your organization. Maybe something where you are committing to your main branch, but where you have very frequent releases. Maybe you'll have 20 releases a day and you can easily roll back, is an appropriate strategy for you, for your business. But at least make that a deliberate decision on why you're doing it, not just do it because it's popular and the current vogue of things.
Yeah, you should be. If you do that, you should be able to do so, right? So it sounds great to be able to work that way, but if you are not able to execute the moment that the problems arise, if you have to call people in the middle of the night, and then that only one person who is familiar with how this was built up, that would be that would maybe not the best way to keep your business to keep the lights on.
Yeah, indeed.
What about using a pull request for your own repos? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's also a strategy. I think, and admittedly, there was a point last week where I thought, why don't I do pull requests for my own repository? Now, the question would be, why would you do that? Maybe.
Yeah.
Or do you understand why I was thinking it?
Well, I guess it depends on why you're using the pull requests.
Sorry?
It basically comes back to the reason of why would you want to use a pull request? What are the reasons for creating a pull request rather than just committing straight onto a specific branch? Let's say if you're a single person working on your repo, you might wonder, well, who's going to approve and merge that pull request, and who's going to review it? Unless you want that deliberate step of, I want to review the work I've done, but I'd say it's difficult to make that. It's like a developer doing the testing. If you look at whatever you've delivered yourself, I think you're biased towards thinking what works and doesn't work. So I'm just wondering, I'm doubting if, for the perspective of reviewing your code in a pull request, if it is going to be as correct than if somebody else would be reviewing a pull request. So I'm on the fence. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sherry says to have a better history, so you can have an easier rollback.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that history, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with your commit messages, and especially, well, your own repos? Yeah, it can get really messy. I was more thinking of my state of mind. So I commit a bunch of work.
Yeah.
It's good to have that moment of pause and you have to review everything. For
Yeah.
me, at some point, especially when you are so in the middle of doing a humongous commit, you tend to maybe miss stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, you tested it on your own system. It works on my PC. We all been there. But then again, I just want to review it. So for my own repos, yes, why not? Yeah, why not? But I think it would have saved me somewhere earlier this week.
Yeah.
Because I had to like skim through every single thing I did that day.
Yeah. And so you think with a pull request?
I would have looked before I accepted it.
Yeah.
I would have, yeah, of course.
Aren't you?
That's the reason why you.
Well, that's the thing. I think if it's your own on your own repo and working on it yourself, I mean, aren't you going to rush through the review of the pull request also?
Well, no. Why would I otherwise do a pull request? Okay, you could say, okay, before you push stuff, you should check it. What you sorry. Yeah, I'm reading. Sherry agrees. So stop the discussion. No, no, but you of course you should check everything. But I think it helps, and I have used that strategy earlier, and that worked. But yes, it feels kind of a bit weird maybe to do your own reviews. I don't know. If you have an open source project, it could help to let your pull request review. Yes, of course, it could help to have your pull request reviewed.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sherry would rush it.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
I'm in the same situation. I know I would rush it. It gives me the same feeling as, are you sure you want to delete this file? If I'm in a rush, yes, I'm sure. No, I wasn't sure.
My fiancée erased her phone by doing, I'm sure. So yes, that's a good thing you bring that up. Though I think it's a matter of what works, and I think everything is okay. We work together on some stuff sometimes as well. I probably not always do a pull request, or I approve them myself. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's it's
yeah. I guess it's a matter of how disciplined you are, and to be very honest, in this specific case, I would rush my pull request approvals. So guilty.
Yeah, you get bonus points for being honest about this. Yeah, it's like it doesn't really matter what you do. If you do this with multiple people, of course you would make some arrangements on how you contribute to the project, which workflow you have, maybe create templates. So there's all kinds of stuff there to help you with this. And you can just leverage that. There's a lot of knowledge being shared on these things.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that's a good thing. But it's about communication, which is always the most important thing, because we are all people. Well, except that bot in the chat.
But yeah, and these, as Christian says, it could be a good start to get used to pull requests, to get into the mode and of the vibe of contributing to the public or to other people's repos. Certainly.
Yeah, sure, and that's actually a great advice, because it can be terrifying.
Oh yeah, indeed.
It can be terrifying, and it's like, and this is why it matters so much that it's a safe space. It shouldn't matter that much, but then again, it's a serious step. It's the first step into the collaboration. So yeah, there you have it.
Yeah. So that was an interesting topic.
Yeah, that's a great topic. See, there are so many things to discuss always, which is fun.
Yes.
Maybe we should do this more often.
An hour with Suzanne and Nick, or what?
Yeah, maybe we have other people who want to weigh in sometimes.
Yeah.
And discuss stuff. Yeah, why not?
Let's put up a poll.
Yeah.
Oh, you have Sherry. We have one viewer already.
Yeah, that's the bot. That's the bot.
Oh yeah.
It will be. Oh wait, it's multiple yeses. So we are.
The bot has spawned a new bot.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Or has it forked? Oh, by the way, I so like the little animated icon in GitHub if you fork something. The little photocopier. If you fork a repo, while it's forking, it usually does take like 3 seconds or something, if it's a big one. But it shows like this little photocopier with a fork stuck into the little book that's being photocopied.
Oh, that's nice.
Just some random thing.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of random.
Yeah, but it's just.
I get distracted if I see animated GIFs. GIFs. GIF.
Yeah, what is it?
GIF. Yeah.
What side of the fence are you? It's a GIF.
The rainbow colored one. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Somebody's playing Apex Legends in the chat. Somebody's playing StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Somebody is playing iTerm 2, which is great, because that's that was one of my favorite games to play, iTerm 2.
Oh yeah. What type of game? Sorry, I don't know the game. So what is
Terminal? It's a terminal.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, and we have of course.
Oh, gotcha.
And then we got our bot playing embed your Discord.
Yeah. So that's Airball, which is great.
Airball, which is actually who is actually hosting our follow-up meetups. So kudos to Airball, aka Julien.
Yes, we're very happy with the collaboration. So we got into touch because of all this, and he said basically, "Oh, I'm doing that yearly meetup. Hey, well, let's work together and see if we can make something good out of this." And let's see. So far, so good, of course. But let's see how we can keep it up. Yeah, I already have some ideas because I really think that it's good to not wait to not wait until Hacktober.
No.
You know, and you know, we can have a May the Open Source be with you of yeah, merging March.
Yes. Oh, what? Yeah, what else could we come up with? Oh, merging March is actually nice.
Spring branches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So there you have it. Yes, Julien mentions we have Marit van Dijk and Stefan. Yes, we did mention that. That's on next Tuesday, actually.
Yes.
So Marit will have a session about collaborating on open source software. And the project of the week will be Spring Boot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's at 5 until 6. But then again, we're here the whole month and probably after on the Discord server. Yeah,
Yes.
join us, contribute, invite other people. We don't care. We're here for, like, we're anyways. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, we're here indeed to listen in, to help out wherever we can.
Yeah, and
keep...
you can nominate yourself or others. If you're a project owner, you have somebody who did an amazingly good PR or started out and reached out to you and is helping. Well, we have this badger. It's the open sourcer badger, and I made showing off the movie, like Roll the Fit. Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, ain't that cute?
Yes.
I like the hoodie guy. I like the hoodie guy because he's clearly a fake, and it's only PRing for the T-shirt, which we hate. So please don't.
Yeah. And we don't show the T-shirt on purpose. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, but on that note, anything else that you have, Suzanne? Oh, while you were like rolling the video, don't you have like a past as a DJ?
Yeah, that's my hobby. So yes, and this is where, you know, you mentioned earlier, like looking at the speaker bios and asking them like, hey, what are you doing, and diving into that. They have creativity all over. Yeah, so yeah, the same goes for me. So I like to both do radio, which I haven't done in ages. But yeah, I love doing the vormgeving. I don't know.
Design.
Yeah. So for radio, I did so for some local and some region stuff. So that was fun. And I actually spin some records, which is my hobby, but I don't have time in my life to like. And I'm really happy because nowadays, like, what can you do? You can start a stream. Well, I can start a stream anytime I want, thanks to the cloud services of the specific parties offering it. So that's good. But yeah, and do you have some creative hobby?
It's definitely not music. I'm more into just enjoying music. So more of a passive, passive music lover. Creative, it's more into kind of drawing things and sketching things. And apart from that, I'm quite creative in cooking.
Well, that's
So
nice.
that's maybe where my creativity goes into. It's like looking what ingredients we have, and we'll mix something up and make sure it's nice and tasteful. Yeah, that's what I like to do after hours to feed the family.
That will be one happy family then, if I hear this. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't come over and test it sometime because, nope, because we're a red zone, I think, here. So I can go to you, but then I have to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks or something. I don't know,
Yes.
10 days.
Yeah, and the other way around as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the Mr. Jenkins you drew at JFocus. Yes, that was actually quite good.
Oh, yes, indeed. I
sent you a
remember.
picture. Like Nick draws. Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, you draw. Yeah, on the whiteboard. You.
That was fun.
Yeah, it looked great. So that's.
I guess Sherry still has the picture somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But yeah,
so.
we had some fun there. But those were just some scribbles.
Can you imagine? No.
Let's not exaggerate. But yeah, it's good to have something again outside of what you typically do, just to give you another perspective on things.
Yes, and I also hobby with videos nowadays and trying to create graphics. It's a whole new thing, but yeah, I think because of the changed. I'm gonna show it. It's because of the changes in the whole situation, of course.
Yeah. Oh, there is Mr. Jenkins.
So you have to like discover new ways to. Oh dear! Now it all goes south. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Let me throw it on the.
Oh no! Throw it on the live stream.
I think you can't see it, but there you have it.
Oh.
I'm happy that Restream works, by the way, again.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's. Yeah, you're quite talented, I think. It won't zoom in.
At that scale, yes, I am.
Yeah, see, so there you have it. And I don't wear glasses, so that's good as well. Okay, let me move that. Click on the link. Oh, there.
Yes,
yeah, I'm gonna click on the link. Do you want to go to Google? No, never. And then it says trust this domain. Okay. Oh, there it is.
What could go wrong? Yeah. Well, it's the things you do when basically you're at a conference and there's while the attendees are going through the sessions, you spend some time creatively. Oh yeah, and yeah, I come back to that one. Actually, can you imagine the one which was the hardest one to draw of those like product icons?
Well, my first guess would be IntelliJ, but I think it's actually Azure Web Apps, because you of course didn't have a clue what the logo looks like, because it's going left or right. Am I right?
Oh, actually, even knowing what it looked like, just the fact of having to draw it was so. We had so many iterations on that one. Yes, the little circle of Azure Web Apps was the toughest one to draw. Actually,
Yeah.
to get it right. Yeah, and IntelliJ is there. Yeah, we had the folks from IntelliJ in the booth next to us at JFocus.
Yeah,
Oh well.
I missed that. Those conferences where you actually could. Yeah.
Oh yes, indeed. The interactions.
Yeah, the interactions.
The casual chat about technology. We hardly do this, right?
I don't miss the food. But yes, the discussions about technology. But this is why I think this is fun, because we basically, we just hung out from 4 till like now, which is kind of amazing, because how many people do you know can just keep on talking for hours?
Yes, and we had what, half an hour break?
Yeah, I had a hamburger. I'm still
wow.
not sure actually if it was actually meat, because nowadays you can't tell. I didn't ask. I was just like, oh, food, let's eat.
Yeah, I just had a sandwich.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting, and some very interesting discussions we have had. Some great suggestions also from our chat.
Yes.
To keep the and some nice gifts, of course. And now Christian is hungry. Oh yes.
Yes. Same.
Yeah. So, oh wait, maybe it's time for another developer dilemma. What do you say about that?
Another one. Yes.
Yes.
Let's okay. Okay. Let me just first.
Yeah.
What? Let me first do some announcements,
yes.
and then we can do one developer dilemma again. Yes.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no. No, I'm not. Oh wait.
You're not.
This needs attention. This is what. Yeah. These are the topics in life where you can do a poll on politicians. You can have discussions on societal issues. But if you are with me, then look, this is what it's about. I'm gonna show you. Now, why in the world would you ask this question? This is like, what is the context?
Well, it's basically about what is your editor preference.
Oh, it's about an editor. Because if it's about an editor, then my answer would be different. If you would ask, what is your favorite operating system? Then my choice also would be different.
What do you mean?
So this is about the editor or about the operating system?
Editor.
As editor, I would choose Vim anytime. Though, did you know that I, together with a colleague, we actually tried to do everything in Emacs?
Oh, no.
Just because we could. So I, for half a year, kept my calendar in Emacs, my email, I did everything in Emacs, IRC,
Wow.
yeah, you name it, and I did it from Emacs.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, because you can.
just as an experiment.
Yes, because the product totally supports it. It's like super efficient. And I love it. And when I talk about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I should be like, no, because I don't have time in my life. But just so for the sake of editor, I choose Vim. But luckily, there are 11 people. 11% of the people
Yes.
have some sanity and make obviously the best choice there is for a productivity tool, which is called Emacs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I never went into that extent that you have to make a good judgment. I have way more experience with Vim or VI than I have with Emacs, so I am biased, of course, towards Vim because that's where most of my experience is, and so I'm probably ignoring too much of the goodness of Emacs. Oh, what's
Look at
this one?
Instant reply all to email.
Instantly reply to all email.
Always answer your phone.
Oof. Oh. Does that allow you to have email rules?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Oof. Then I'd go for email.
Yeah, I would go for email as well. I really hate the telephone. Yeah, you see that people are mixed.
Nice.
Yeah, and
I'm
I
quite
understand.
surprised. Yeah.
I would have thought that more people would hate picking up the phone. 100% CPU or 2% battery. Well, for me, the choice is easy because I have a laptop which always is at 100%.
You're used to that situation.
Yes, and I totally need my phone to be able to communicate with the world while my terrible.
So yeah. So basically, your phone is an extra core to your machine.
Yes. Yes, totally.
100% CPU is horrible. You can't get anything done. At least with the 2% battery, you could squeeze something in.
Yeah, but then I would have a phone which will be dying soon, and my laptop at 100%. It's not one or the other. It's like it's happening. This is a real life struggle. Remote or office? Oh, what's your take on this?
Oof. Still remote.
Yeah,
although
right?
it's such a tricky one. But that's what you get with these dilemmas, of course. Oh no!
Oh, no.
No!
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 No! We're not going there.
We're not going there. Okay.
No, we're not.
God, 8 spaces? That's blasphemy. Oh god. Yeah, remote. Oh god, no. Just the office. I think. Well, the situation we're in right now, which is where you're forced to be remote, is kind of the other extreme. Whereas if it is a deliberate option for you to work remotely, I'd say I'd go for that one. Being forced to do it is a completely different story. I think, but yeah, being in the office every single day, I think it's well, I guess you adjust, but well, the thing with me, if I go to the office, it's for as I don't go to the office very often. Office time is like socializing. So basically, like going 20% of the time to the office, that's good. That's like one day in the week. So I'd go for that one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like 100% remote. I like meeting people, but in my time and not for a day, because I don't have time for a day. And it's like it takes too much of a chunk because you have to drive there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like
I know.
you know all about this.
Should we tell the story?
No, we are not going to share that story.
No.
Stroopwafels are stroopwafels.
Yes, hands down.
Yeah, always,
Yes.
always. But a lot of people click right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's then more a matter of left or right,
Yes, isn't that
Or-
always the case?
or one color or the other.
Yes,
so what is
maybe.
what's the audience? Developers use spaces, make money.
What?
What is this that Christian shared? Developers who use
Developers
spaces.
who use spaces make more money than those who use tabs. What is this? I think that if we continue this long enough, that we will finally be highlighted in Twitch.
Yeah, are we going to get? Yeah.
Yes, I sometimes I watch the people talking about anything, and I can't keep on watching that. So if somebody from Twitch is watching, call us.
Yes, we can do ours.
So the tabs are spacious. Holy war among software developers. Stack Overflow tapes.
Oh, do you know this
let me
site? Do you know this Freakonomics thing? I think it's called, what is it? Oh yes, the correlated.org. That's I think that's the one.
I have a theory about this.
Yeah.
My theory about this diagram, and maybe they haven't looked into this. I'm gonna read this, but let's imagine that most people being a developer and taking the time to reply to a survey. I think those people might be mostly external people. And if you are in consultancy, then you of course make more money if you take the time to press that space 8 freaking times. So, let's imagine that they make like, just for easy calculation, they make 100 an hour. Yeah?
Yeah.
So let's say that they would be busy with the typing spaces half an hour a day, more than a person who just presses tab 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they would have a very large salary gain compared to the person who's more efficient and uses tabs. So I think that the freelancers and the consultancy people, I think they all use spaces. And that's why they make more money. I can't think of any other reason.
We definitely need to read the survey.
I'm gonna read the survey, and I will follow up on this at our last meetup.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, maybe.
Yes,
because I don't understand. This is like.
And this is a topic that needs to be discussed, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's even gaps within different languages. But then that comes to the intricacies or the local flavors or habits that you have that come with a given sub community, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. I clearly if I'm just gonna scroll down like this, I'm not even halfway.
By the way, if you really want to have a laugh, check the correlated.org. Oh god. So, but yeah, it is quite an interesting topic, and I'm quite curious to see what the correlation is, how they come to that correlation between spaces and making more or less money.
Yes. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Christian, in the chat. We're very happy that that you brought this up. Okay.
It's now going to stay in our head.
Yes.
For quite some time.
Yeah. So I think that we maybe should wrap it up for today.
Yep.
Or do you want to keep on discussing? Because then I would really need to go downstairs and get some refreshment. I still don't have a fridge in my office, which basically is the only reason I move one way or another.
Which might be, yeah, a good reason not to have one, as at least it gives you, it forces you to stand up and take some steps.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and you know, people, it's very important if you work from home, stay hydrated.
Oh yes, and keep moving.
Yeah, keep moving and stay hydrated.
Yes, put in that 30 minutes of exercise every day.
Yes, exactly.
Well, looking at our audience, it seems they're quite okay. Oh God.
This is like, what have you done on Friday? Well, I was just discussing stuff on Twitch, and yeah, it was quite okay.
It's actually quite fun.
Yeah, we should do that more often. Maybe, you know, we should do a team meeting or something and discuss things with each other. But this is also nice, having an open organization, open team meeting.
Yeah, discuss some random things, random technology things.
Random technology things, stuff that matters to us as technology enthusiasts, as developers, as citizens of the world.
Yeah. By the way, are you into gadgets?
Like what kind of gadgets?
Technology gadgets.
That's still a very broad term.
Well, whatever, consumer technology gadgets. So, like you have CES, so the Consumer Electronics Show that comes up every year, typically in January. Are you following that one and looking for what is the newest and hippest thing gadget that comes out? Where you had, for example, I think we had a whole craze about Bluetooth-enabled things. So, for example, a toothbrush that is Bluetooth-enabled, or these intelligent spoons that measure how much you eat, those kind of things. Is that something that you're into?
I was, but well, to be totally honest, at some point I was a bit tired of all that stuff, because a lot of stuff never ever went on sale anywhere. or I can't find it. So I do like innovation in general, but nowadays I'm more interested in stuff that that can help me with my productivity.
Yeah.
So a device which is contextual and based on what I'm doing shows buttons which I can use and knobs and stuff just to help me through the day, because I'm, you know, it's always you're moving your mouse. You have like 3 screens. Like my real estate goes from there to there, and it's full of stuff. And then I use a product, and especially, for instance, with video editing or with streaming or stuff like that, then I also, oh yeah, I have to, and then click, and then, so I'm really looking into control surfaces. I think that's very fun to look at. Obviously, DJ equipment and audio equipment, recorders, also control surfaces, because like a DJ control surface is not that much different than any other device nowadays. So that's about it. Are you particularly interested in something which is coming up, or?
Actually, not really. I was kind of wondering. I'm interested to see what is coming. Although, yeah, not really into buying them. All of those gadgets. Not really. No, now I come to think of it. No, not really.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, with gadgets, and this is like not, of course, for everything, but they deprecate so fast, and I always wonder, hey, if I buy this, how long will they support the firmware? So I was looking into a little recorder device, which is super small, and yeah, you can just plug it in and you don't have to think about it. It will record. But then I'm like, yeah, but if I buy it, will the company exist in 2 years?
Oh, yeah. Well,
and will it then still be compatible with USB EFG? I don't know what they come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, and on the topic of firmware, I think the whole thing about especially with IoT and network gear and those kind of things, the whole thing about updating and servicing your devices. I think, yeah, the most difficult one is, for example, your network routers. If you check when was the last update, typically it's been quite a long time ago. And if you then see how many security breaches exist, you wonder, well, how is this possible?
Yeah, how long were they?
Yeah, yeah. Let alone IoT-enabled light bulbs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a whole different topic.
All the yeses, yes.
And it's security and IoT, which is very, very tricky.
Yeah.
But very interesting.
It is interesting, and it's so much fun to tie everything together and discover how you can like, yeah, create an environment which adapts to what you want it to be, and that's well, I think that's fun as well. But yeah, I think I elaborated on this during another event quite extensively, but I got the remarks that, you know, you get a change freeze. So 3 weeks before I left for a business trip or something, then I was not allowed to do any changes to any device in the house, because at some point stuff didn't work when I was away. So imagine my fiancé coming in the house and trying to switch on the light, and the light doesn't switch on, or like the calendar, which is like smart mirror-like functionality, whatever, but dashboard-ish thingy. I don't know. Maybe it has a name. I don't know, but
A digital one.
But it stopped working, like just because I was updating it, and then I left, and then it stopped working. So then I, now I just make everything okay and just keep my hands off, because it's not fun anymore. This is the real deal, people. This is living in a home with a nerd, and that's life.
That's when policies need to be applied.
Yes, exactly. So I think I know that everybody wants us to continue, but I'm like, I think we should call it today. So if you are one of the people who stick with us, thank you, and sorry. But yeah,
it has been it has been a great ride.
It was fun. It was so
Definitely.
much fun, and we will do this again. We will do this again. And if you really would like to hear us rambling about stuff again, next week we have a workshop on.
Oh wow! Is it next week already?
Yes, next week already. We have to prepare it still.
Yes.
But next week will be fun. We have a workshop on GitHub Actions.
Yeah.
And it's a hands-on workshop, and you can just follow along and just do some stuff, follow us and do the assignments, or you can work in your own tempo and just listen to us rambling. I'm not sure if you still want it, if you have watched today's stream, but feel invited. Now, we will share all kinds of things around GitHub, of course, GitHub Actions. We'll, of course, use some Azure services because, well, guess what company we work for. And so feel free to join us. You can subscribe at futuretech.nl. There's a big button on the top right, and you're free to join us. And you will leave Zen.
Yes, indeed. It's our.
Yes, you will leave Zen. Yes, because that's the topic of the workshop.
Yes.
So you will create an application and upload it to Azure, but using GitHub Actions. There might be some code spaces in there, and we might elaborate a bit on services. I guess we will have the discussion on branching a little bit as well. Yeah. So join us. It's 2 hours of fun. Just hang out with us.
Yeah, it's just 2 hours.
Why don't you? It's just 2 hours of your time. It's during the day. And there will be Azure Heroes badges. Yes, for sure. You can get it's a hackathon, hacking hands-on. So that's the Builder Badger.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, you can earn a Builder Badger. Yeah.
If you build something, you earn a Builder Badger.
Yes, just like that. And talking about badgers.
Roll the video.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yes. Well,
But
Suzanne?
thank you for staying with us.
Yes.
And for joining us. Yes, so please stick around, and thank you very much.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely stay around for the coming weeks. Join the upcoming meetups. Some great sessions. Keep contributing. Keep in touch on our chat. And yeah, hope we'll be in touch very soon. Thanks a lot, Suzanne.
Yes, and keep an eye out for contributing.today. We will be publishing new articles and new interviews. And I kind of have the feeling that we will stick around for longer after Hacktoberfest. So
yes.
Just bookmark, remember, follow Twitter, whatever. And thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Suzanne.
For being on this really weird, fluffy journey of a lot of stuff
Yes.
which we discussed.
Our whirlwind tour on technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So this is where I press the finish button.
Yes. And don't forget to submit your request for your swag package.
Yes, the sudo package. Swag package. Okay.
Check the
Good.
pinned messages in our chat. And goodbye.
Yes, doei.